Hello and good morning. We're in week 3. Keep in mind that you have all your homework for week 2 is due. Tonight is the deadline, and I will start checking that tomorrow before the open house. Your open house is online tomorrow on Teams, and I'll get more information hopefully out to parents today. This right here, I want distance and midpoint. And by the way, you do have test number 1 this week, okay? So keep that in mind. So to do distance up by the clock, I have the formulas. But remember, you're asked to memorize it. So try to write that down on your own. The x's, that's the first one here and the first one on this one, but not both of these together. So that becomes a negative 2 and 6, and this becomes 4 minus a negative 7. And when you do that, you get a negative 8 squared. And then here, this becomes a plus, so that gives me 11 squared. 8 times 8 is 64, and a negative times a negative is a positive. That's 2 negatives, plus 121. And when you add that up, and again, make sure your calculator's out every day on your desk to avoid the merits, plus 121, I end up with 185. And so make sure you can do this, shift, square root. Make sure you get 13.6. Okay, and your test is going to be multiple choice. You're going to get 2 tries at it online. Let's keep moving. This right here wants a ratio from A to B. We did this already, so take a look. Let's graph these points, and then up. Okay, this point is 7, and then down. Let me check my points and make sure I'm right on that. All right, that looks good. So draw your segment, make your right triangle, and your direction is from A to B. So make sure you keep that in mind. You're going to add up your ratio, which is 1 plus 3 gives you 4. So it's a 1/4. And just so you know, what you're doing is dividing this segment into 4 pieces. So you would go halfway, and then half of a half, and that's going to give you 4 pieces. So 1/4 is about right here. So we already know where the answer should be. Make sure you understand that concept. Let me push this up a little bit, and actually let me make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so you had a worksheet on this. We spent 2 days on this. Okay, now the question is, can we locate where this point is? And so what we're going to do, once I get all this focused and everything, is work this out. All right, so let's see how we're going to do this. So you're going to take 1/4 twice. You're going to count your horizontal change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 this way, and I think 7 this way. So 7 and 5, I think that's 12. So the horizontal change is 12. So times 12 over 1. And then this one right here, the vertical change was 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 up, and I think it was 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So that's a vertical change of 8. So we're going to do times 8 over 1. And when you do that, you're going to get 12 over 4 when you multiply, which gives you 3. And then this one right here, you're going to get 8 over 4, which equals 2. So what you're going to do is start here and go this way 3. So 1, 2, 3. And when you do and go straight up, you hit your point, which we already know. This one you're going to go down 2. So down 1, 2, and then you're going to go over. And where they both hit is your answer. Okay? So we got to know where that is. Start at the origin. This one's pretty easy. This one is negative 2 and then up 2. Okay, hopefully they don't give you fractions, but there it is. Any questions on what we did last Thursday and Friday? All right, on a new sheet of paper, copy down this one right here. This is also segment partition, but it's not two-dimensional. It's just a segment, but not on a graph. So look what's going on here. The ratio is 2 to 1, so you're still going to add up 2 plus 1 and get 3. And then the first number is 2, so it's going to be 2 to 3 is what we're looking at. So we want 2/3 of this segment. So you're going to go ahead and break it up into three pieces. So this would be one piece, this would be two pieces, and this would be three pieces from A to B. And 2 out of 3 would be right here. So your answer would be right there at 5. So point P would be at 5. Make sure you understand that these are easier than the two-dimensional ones on graphs. You still kind of do it the same way. You count your spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 spaces, okay? And then you're going to go ahead and multiply by 2/3. So 6 times 2/3, let's see what that is. That's 12 over 3, which equals 4. So you're going to go 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's where I'm at. Now I kind of did it a little differently, but this is similar to what we did on the worksheet. All right, remember that. That's not that hard. All right, let's keep moving. I tried to find some work on that, but I couldn't. On today's work, we're going to be doing if-then, called conditionals. Okay? And let's talk about what a conditional is. This is 1.5, and today we're going to actually be using your workbook if you have it, okay? Remember, you're supposed to have it. If you don't have it, those are demerits, okay? Because you're supposed to bring it. Now look up here. Put down 1.5 conditionals. And we'll go ahead and talk about that one. So if you do not have your workbook, then demerits. I mean, that's basically it, because you don't have your supplies, right? So look up here. So don't tell me you don't have your workbook. Anyway, circle the word if and then. So this first part is called your hypothesis. Okay, so it doesn't include the word if. So if they say, what is the hypothesis? And you put if, you're going to miss it. This is your hypothesis. You do not have your workbook. Your conclusion is demerits. You're going to get demerits. All right, so let's say this. I clean my room. I can go out and play. I can go out and play. Okay? So let's write this as an if-then. And remember, an if-then is called a conditional. Okay? So here's the conditional. If I clean my room, then I can go out and play. Okay, there it is. So again, circle the word if, and then this first part right here is your hypothesis. So put an H right there, and your conclusion is 2 lines. Write that down. And that's all it is. All right, so that's kind of what we're doing today. Let's see what some of these look like. So go to page 38 in your workbook. All right. It says, how do if-then statements describe mathematical relationships? Well, they tell you if x is equal to 7, find the answer. Find 2x plus 4 equals 16. Okay? That kind of thing. And actually, I don't think this one would work, because 2 times 7 is 14, and 14 plus 4 is 18, not 16. So this one would not work. But that's how you do it with a mathematical relationship. So if, circle the word if, and then, don't use those. This is your hypothesis. It's always after the word if. This is your conclusion. Okay? So let's see what it says. Allie is asked to write the inverse. Okay, so the inverse, okay, so you have a conditional. Write this down. And the conditional is right here. If it is sunny, then I use sunscreen. That's the conditional, okay? So the inverse, which you need to know, you have to switch. Write that down. Now there's like 6 of them, but I'm told you're only taught or tested on these 2. Okay, so you switch these. So you say, if I wear sunscreen, then it is sunny. Well, that's not necessarily true. I might put sunscreen on because I know that I can still get a sunburn even if it's cloudy. So I'm going to say that's false. Okay. This one I'm going to say is true. If it's sunny, I'm definitely putting on sunscreen. Okay. Now, some of your parents, I guess your moms, they have makeup that have sunblock in it. All right, so ask them about that. But that's good because it protects them when they go outside. Okay, so at inverse, you switch. So you take them and you switch them. Okay? That's ink on my hands if you're wondering. All right, so that's pretty much it. Okay, so, all right, you know, it's been a year. Okay, so I guess I got to give you these, and I try not to go to you. So write these down. The inverse is actually the opposite. Okay, so I'm going to have to rechange everything that I'm doing here. So let's do this. Conditional. Then you have the converse. The converse is actually the opposite one. Okay, my fault. The inverse, nope, said it wrong again. The converse is switch. Switch. All right, I got this right now. The inverse is the opposite. All right, so we're going to do this right now. So here we go. Scratch this part out. Let's start fresh. If it is sunny, then I wear sunscreen. Copy that down. The converse is switch. So you're going to move this one and these like that. So the converse, that's your conditional. Your converse, you're going to switch. So you're going to say, if it is sunny, then I wear sunscreen. The inverse is the opposite. So inverse is the opposite. All right, so, okay, so the opposite, you don't switch them. You say the opposite of if it is sunny. So you say, if it is not sunny, then, and you say the opposite of this one, then I do not wear sunscreen. All right, so let's just try one. Okay? If I make an A, then I will be happy. Copy that down. That's your conditional. Okay? So the converse, try that. And then try the inverse. Write that down. All right, so the converse, you switch. So I will be, if I'm happy, then I made an A. The inverse is the opposite. So if I do not make an A, if not an A, then not happy. Okay, so you got to think about those. All right? So the converse is switch, and the inverse is the opposite. That is correct. All right, let's move our attention. Today you got page 38. And let me see what exactly I gave you here. I want you to do page 38 and page 39 all the way to 40. Okay, so use your workbook for that. All right, let's keep moving. I want to go to MCR now. Put this away. All right, so MCR, anything to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the first power is itself. This one, only the 4 is squared, so that's going to be a negative 16. This one, the negative is squared, so that's going to be a positive 16. Make sure you understand that. This one right here is a positive because that's a double negative, but you got to multiply 1 times 2. So it's negative 3 plus 2, which equals more negatives, a negative 1. Your homework is due today, and I'm going to check it tomorrow, just so you know. Open house is tomorrow night, Tuesday, online, on Teams, I guess. So I'll get that information out to your parents. Also, test is this week, and we'll talk more about that as the week goes on. That's test number 1. All right, copy this down here on a new sheet of paper. All right, if it says more than or less than, you switch. So you're going to say x plus 5, since it's more. This one doesn't say less than, so it's just going to be 5 minus x. This one does say less than, so you got to switch. Remember, more than or less than, you switch. So this is x minus 5. This one is 5 is decreased by 2. No switching. You only switch if it's more than or less than. Remember that. This one is more than. 3 times a number is 3x. And when you switch, you're going to get 3x plus 5. And here's your assignment for today. Make sure you copy the problems and get some good work done. And let's try to get it done before class ends. Some of those you're going to have to look up. I would save those for last. Have a good morning.